Okay, so we're going to go straight into the reading. I'm going to put them so that we can see the cards properly. Hello Aries, so we've got our cards out and we start off with the Six of Swords. Now the Six of Swords is where you are now, and we see this woman, so you're obviously facing the truth. We have the blue here, we have the moon in the background, and we see this woman in her little boat sort of turning her back to the past and moving on. We see a frog here again, another frog. Again, and emotions, water. So she's turning her back on something and moving forward, something that she believes would possibly be calmer. It could be also a card of traveling, of moving over the water, going on a boat trip as well. That's a possibility as well. But when we actually see this woman and the toad or the frog here, it's like a fight or flight impulse that arises. The toad could indicate more of a type of resilience from the brain, where the flight impulse is. So he's ready to hop at a moment's notice. And she's hopped in and taken the lesson she's learned, her swords, with her. That's the way she views the world. She's had a lot of lessons and she's taken them with her. And regardless of what anybody else has to say, she's moving on to something that she views would be calmer and better for her as well. That's also a possibility. But it could also be that you could be running away from something. So maybe you need to examine the way that you think. Will your running away accomplish anything? It might just be an immediate escape, possibly from what is troubling you. It could be emotional problems. Swords is also thoughts or spoken words, and they are quite harsh energy because they're brutal truth. You know, I mean, we need to face the truth as well, and there's a lot of blue in this card here. So be aware possibly of over-analyzing a problem as well, and then your defense mechanism comes up and the fight or flight, and you take flight here. But obviously if there are times when fleeing a dangerous situation is the right thing to do, you know, so in that instance that's a possibility, and that's where you are now. If there is anything dangerous, fight or flight, we have the frog times 2, and moving away from it would definitely be the option. Otherwise, traveling or leaving your burdens behind and having learned the lessons, you're moving on to the next cycle. In your future, what's in your future, we again have a messenger here, Page of Cups. Now, he's holding a cup. It's emotions. We can see that it's emotions because it's cup, it's water. It could be a water sign as well that brings you this information. It is a message, but it could be your own energy as well, where you're holding something very carelessly. You're not really focused on it. If we see, I mean, he's holding the goblet in a careless way because he's not really focused on the message that he's receiving, or she is receiving. So maybe there is a message here that you need to put a little more focus into, because it is what is in your future. And cups or emotions, water, it would be something that, because we're dealing with emotions here with the water, although there's intellect as well. So there's something here that could make you very happy with a cup. But you're not really focused on it. You sort of have your own ideas of what you want to focus on, and it's not, you're not really interested in it. Although we do have orange and a lot of creative energy that's in it. Then we move on to the next card, which is what is on your mind. And then we have the Star card. And the Star card is really beautiful. I mean, she's a sister card to Temperance, and she brings health and healing, but has faith. She empties these vessels of emotions, and some of them are quite explosive. We see this. It's fire and water being mixed without worrying. Where the temperance card, she's pouring from one vessel to the other without spilling a drop. Yeah, she's emptying it into the pond, her emotions. She's letting go of what doesn't serve her because she knows the universe is going to replenish what she needs and give her what she needs because she has the faith in that. It is 8. 8 is a very strong number. It is the infinity sign. So if there's been a hard challenge or you are getting health and healing, you are being guided by the stars, and this card is also saying that your vulnerability, we see her naked here in a vulnerable state. She doesn't care about her nakedness because she knows that she's been guided. We see the star here, being guided by the universe to let go of what doesn't serve her because she's on this wheel of life, and life is changing, life is improving, emotions is improving. She's using her truth and her intuition as well. It's also the card of hit your dreams on a star because they will come true. It really is an awesome card. It is a major arcana card, so there is a lot of beauty here. And we do have Chiron, which has entered Aries as well, bringing health and healing to Aries that have gone through quite a tough time with Uranus in their first house. Then we go on to your career and your achievements. So 7 of Pentacles is you've worked hard. We see the squirrel. You've saved. You've packed away for the leaner times. You've saved for the rainy days. And you've had the patience to do it as well. You've used a lot of passion. You're ready now to go and get some benefit out of what you've worked so hard for. Something that has this good gold value. It is Pentacles. And in your career, you want to collect something of what you've made. The ladder is there. You're going to go up. It's saying have a little more patience because the fruit that you will be able to harvest very soon. It is a 7. The fruit you will be able to harvest very soon has good value. It is tangible. It is real. It is there for you. So maybe in your career, in your achievements in life, whatever you've done pretty soundly, solidly. You've checked the details. You didn't just whiz through it, which can be an Aries trait, burn through it. And there's a lot of peace and abundance that comes with this card as well. Then we move on to your influences in this whole situation that's here. And we have the 8 of Swords. And we see this woman with chains around her arms, but they're very loosely bound. And she has this blindfold on because she's confused. And her confusion holds her bound here because it's just thoughts in her mind. She can freely let go of those chains and take the blindfold off and walk between the swords to get out of the entrapment that she feels. She's entrapped by her own mind. And we have an 8 here and an 8 there because the card is 17, which adds up to 8 as well. So it's saying that you're going round and round in your mind and you're making things worse than they actually are. They're not as bad as they seem, and you are confusing yourself. You need to just let go of the thoughts that are going round and round in your mind and look at the truth. You know, we have purity, truth, logic. Swords are truth, and you can get out of the situation that you feel very entrapped with. It is blue, so blue is always about the truth, speaking the truth. So the other thing about the 8 of Swords is it's her own thoughts that keep her bound. The swords are, as I say, her mind, and they keep her immobile in a way. So she's controlled by fear and she feels helpless. So this is your influences. Somehow you feel helpless. and you feel that you can't see and you cannot move and you sense danger all around you, and the situation is entirely of your own making. The good news is that if you made it, you can unmake it, and you have the ability to see things clearly with all this blue around you. You just need the courage to do so. So you've got to be aware of giving into a sense of helplessness. You can't give up your power. You need to take control of your life. And you do not fear. Don't let fear bind you or blind you. So that's very unusual for Aries. That you can influence yourself in whatever the situation is, that you feel almost motionless. Another thing about the star card that I'd like to bring in here, besides it being so much faith, and being, because it's right under that we have the world card as well. You've got to be aware of your lack of faith, possibly, of giving into despair again and of giving up, because the star promises hope. So don't lose faith in that promise. We have these two eights here, and they speak into each other as well. So Aries, if you find yourself in a situation, the message of the star is to replenish yourself and to have faith, and know that cycles of nature are true and natural, and that after a hard time, a better time will always follow. And you have had a pretty tough time here as well, and there's the promise there as well. So then we're going to move on to the next card, which is the World, and this is the base or the foundation of the matter. So this is the card, it's 21, last in the major arcana, and it also adds up to 3, and 3 is all about expansion. Now that is a really beautiful card, because this is a challenge that has been overcome, a very difficult challenge. You've gone full circle. It's also the card of travel. So we have 2 cards here of travel as well. You could be traveling or moving, stepping through into something completely new, possibly in a distant land, because we see the world there, maybe over the water, a different country, but there is movement here as well. Maybe that is what you're fearing or as well, and not really focused on. But with the World card, we see that the woman stands with poise and with dignity. She's got all this purple on, and see the stars on her clothing. We see the laurel of absolute victory as well. So the laurels here indicate her mastery. Okay, it's a major arcana card. It's the last one. She holds the wands representing her will. So she's the magician. She's got them in both hands. And her will is in tune with both sides of herself. So absolutely, completely different to that. And that's the base of, and that is Aries. That's the base of, or the foundation of this whole matter. You are in tune with all of this. You have achieved balance of your conscious as well as your unconscious side. And because of this, you're recognized by the world, and more importantly, by your own self. So you've had to maybe be vulnerable, like the frog, climb out, because you're going between the 2 worlds here, absolutely, between your mind for sure and your emotions that you're dealing with this. So the message of the world is that of completion and accomplishment. You will feel a sense of unity with the universe and mastery over self, and it's natural and it's effortless. We see that she feels on top of the world because it seems that way. But she's had a huge challenge to get to this point. So you've got to be aware of false sense of security as well, because it represents total completion. And then the last card here, the card of the unexpected or the surprise, is saying that you feel that you need to take a break, or it's also a card saying you need to take a break. It's 4, to build your structure. We see a lot of truth. We see a lot of passion. We see the swords. So this soldier looks very worn out. He's taking rest here. He needs a moment to feel safe from the battle, and here's the battle. You've been in a huge battle, so he goes to a little sanctuary to regroup, to rest, to put down his swords, his defenses. So he needs to take a break, and that's what it's saying. The unexpected is you need to take a break to regroup, to get your foundation, to build on your foundation. You need time to regroup. You need time to re-energize yourself. Although your situation is problematic, you won't resolve it until you can take some time out. So you need to remove yourself from any situation, meditate, to find your center, to relax. You can't ignore the problem by distracting yourself. So it's not a card of escapism, but of utilizing your spiritual foundation for renewal. So Aries, there is a lot of challenges, and yes, there's movement that you might find challenging, but there's also healing from the past. Major Arcana also relates to the past. So whatever challenges you've had, and they've been really tough, there's a promise of healing. There's a province of setting yourself free. You need to let go of this and move on. And Aries, you can absolutely do it. You need to rest, regroup, get your energy, because the health and healing is here. The faith is here. And you do have faith, Aries. You do. So there we go, Aries. Let me know how that resonates for you. And thank you so much for the support of my channel. I really do appreciate it. Thank you.